All right, boys. So, in lieu of writing rankings, which is painstaking and ridiculous because I hate it, I have taken to making a video. I mean, in this day and age, who the fuck reads? Movies are better than books. It's just the way that it is. So, the first thing I want to go over real quick is playoff scenarios. What could happen? Um, so far, the first three teams that are going to be in the playoffs are a lock. That would be Steve, John, and myself. The fourth seed is still up for grabs between LP and Kogan. LP is in with a win and a Kogan loss, and if Kogan wins, he is guaranteed a spot. Um, so that's how that works. Seeding. Steve is the number one seed currently, obviously. John is the number two seed. I will be the three, and then four will go to, like I said, either LP or Kogan. There is a chance that I could be the number one seed, but like my flaccid penis, it is a chance that is slim to none. Um, so most likely, Steve and John will be battling for the first and second seed. They're only separated by 12 or 13 points in the standings, so we'll see how that goes. So to the rankings. First of all, the first team obviously would be Steve, who is in first place in the league and put another dominant stamp on his team. Although, without Bryce Brown, would have lost to Rob and would be staring at a second place spot right now. Bryce Brown was his best player, 31 points. His worst player is the Seahawks D. And coming up next for him will be Will Big Juice Wright. Second place team is John Thomas, who has still not changed his name in 3 weeks. His best player was Calvin Johnson with 36, and his worst player was Eric Decker with 3. His next matchup will be against his retarded brother Tim, and that should be a walk in the park for John, who has won 6 in a row and will most likely be winning 7. Third would be yours truly, best team in the league, Andy. His best player was Adrian Peterson with 29 points. His worst player was Vincent Jackson with 8 points. His next matchup will be against Rob, so that should be a pretty easy matchup for Andy. Next up will be Kogan, John Kogan. He is the 4th overall ranked team, and I give him my 4th ranking in the power rankings. His best player was Andrew Luck. He had a fantastic day, 32 points. His worst player was Devon. I don't know why you started him best with 2 points. And his next matchup will be against Dustin. The 5th overall team and battling for a playoff spot is the incomparable Louis Mazzetti. For some reason, Lewis lost to Will this week. I'm not really sure why. It doesn't make any sense. Also, would like to know the identity of the person that LP references in his Walking Dead name. Assuming it's me. Not completely sure, but would like to know. His best player was Matt Forte with 18. His worst was for the 49ers D with 3. And his next matchup will be at Nick. Which brings us to Nick. Nick is 6th in the rankings. His best player was Des Bryant with 27. And his worst player was Justin Blackman with 1. Obviously, his next matchup will be against LP. Really no reason to go into Nick's team. It sucks. He will not make playoffs. It's impossible. So from this point on, all the teams are obsolete. So I'll just kind of run through them pretty quick to get under the 10-minute mark for the YouTube videos. The next team would be Tim, who now owes me $10. I'm holding you to that. We shook on it. I finished higher than you in the rankings. You owe me $10. His best player was Demaryius Thomas with a 29-point day. His worst player was Larry Fitzgerald with 3. His next matchup will be against his immature fucking piece of shit brother John. Next up is Dustin James, who, because he beat me twice, and with that logic, thinks he's the best team in the league. His best players were Aaron Rodgers and Jamal Charles, both clocking in with 17. And his worst player was the Panthers' D with 1. Next week, he'll be facing Kogan. And, that's a take-it-all matchup there for John. 9th place, Rob. Rob puts up a hell of a fight against Steve. Really, going into Sunday night, could have beaten him if not for Bryce Brown's ridiculous day. Rob's best player was Cam Newton with 30. His worst was Jordy Nelson, who got hurt. Ended up with 2. His next matchup will be against the best team in the league, me. So you're going to lose, Rob. And 10th, last but least, is Will Wright, who will finish the season in last place. Well, at least the regular season. His best player was the Texans' defense with 24. His worst player was Marcel Reese with 10. He actually had a really good day today, scored 136. I'm sorry, this week, scored 136. Beat LP, who was battling for a playoff spot. So, Will playing the role of the spoiler. But, what a fall. What a fall from grace. I mean, he went from number 1 to number 10. I haven't seen something go down that fast since Becca fucked Shane. Alright, guys, thanks a lot. If this is good, let me know. If it's stupid and you want me to write rankings, I'll write them. Just trying to, throw shit on the wall, see if it sticks. And, this might be the new format, just to make it a little bit easier on myself. Peace.